listen as we step on the mic, man, you know it's the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge, no hidden, it's free for the play. Tap it right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every age. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. Know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Casual Convo Show, where we have conversations about topics that affect the community's personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. I'm your host, Coco, and joining me tonight, I guess it's to my left, we have Baltimore's finest, most creative, talented women I know, the Jude.
Hey y'all.
And we also have right below me is Mr. Quentin Moore, aka Semantic, the Iconoclast. Okay, come on, sir. I need one of those.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm arrogant like that because I had to order that because that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I tell people I'm an iconoclast and I show people that I'm an iconoclast and I just prove it right then and there. If they got something to say, yo, hit me on Facebook. My email address is in there. Let's talk about it.
Oh, we coming in hot? Okay.
Yeah, we coming in hot because that orange, you know what? We got a lot to discuss tonight. We're gonna hold off on that until the show starts.
Okay, I'm with it. And then we also have the mayor of Asheville, one of the best, I'm gonna say, feet to the ground, holding people accountable, especially in their local political government. King Paul, Mr. More Than You Can See.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey, Paul.
How y'all doing? Y'all good?
Hello, all.
Okay, we have a lot to talk about today. So tonight we're going to be discussing y'all president versus Iran and this whole ceasefire business. We're going to go down the timeline a little bit. And then we also have, this is only for the first hour, then we also want to have in the second hour 2 topics that were presented by King Paul and the Jew. So I think we should just dive right in and we're going to get started with the mental health check-in. I'll go first. My mental health is good. I'm exhausted, but it's mainly because I haven't really been sleeping. But I can't say that mentally, I'm gonna say I'm in a way better space. I think because I'm probably being more productive as we like discussed offline. It's a lot, but it also feels good to be utilized and appreciated for all your skills, your experience, your knowledge and all of that stuff. So I think that's did something that gave me like some sense of fulfillment. So I definitely appreciate that. So far, family's okay. Yeah, I can't say I'm in a bad space, just exhausted. And that's just physically exhausted. Who would like to go next?
I'm fine. I'm fine. The weather's been a mess, but the weather's been up and down. I've been chilling. Yeah, I can't complain. That's it.
I mean, we good over here. You know what I'm saying? We hustling. We good over here. Survival mode. I'm always in survival mode. That's how I live. You know what I'm saying? But I don't worry about it because I always survive. I always hustle. So we good over here.
Myself, PT today, pretty rough, but I feel pretty good. So if I can see some improve my health and my mental, keep getting better. I'm just happy to see y'all once again. So hey, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm with Q. Let's do this.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna jump right into it. So let's just start, I guess, at a I don't even want to say a more interesting place. So what, like we're gonna say a couple of days ago, because he made this threat. We're gonna start with the threat or what started all of this stuff to lead up to this whole ceasefire business. I see Q shaking his head, and I see everybody so excited to get their thoughts for tonight. So, so y'all President Trump made a threat to Iran to bomb like bridges, power plants, threatening to end civilization, in his words, as we know it, on Tuesday night, which was last night, April the 7th, 2026, by 8 p.m. He was made this old big threat if they didn't open up the strait and they didn't appease to all the, what is it called? I'm running a brain freeze. I told you I was tired. Whatever the 10-point rule were that for America, whatever, he was going to do this stuff. So everybody was in an uproar, thinking he was going to blow these people up and pretty much end civilization. And before we get to the other part, how did y'all feel about that when he said that? Don't all
All
speak
right,
at once.
I'll start. I'll start it because it's just like I said all along. Trump ain't about that life. Okay. Most people that were worried about it, I was laughing. I said he ain't gonna do it. He's not gonna do it because he ain't about that life. He's a posturer. He's a poser. Okay, he's like the bully in high school that shoves the little kids in the lockers, and then when he gets with the right kid, and the kid fights back, then that bully starts backing down, but that kid keeps coming after that bully so that he don't bully anyone else. So I knew he wasn't going. I knew. I see. See, the thing is, I was saying earlier in a post of mine. I said it this morning. Americans ain't about that type of life. They talk all day long about what they stand for, but the question is, are you willing to die for what you stand for? Most people ain't willing to die for that. The people over there, they willing to die for what they believe in. They had a human bridge going on, waiting on them bombs to drop because they are willing to die for what they believe in. Americans, not so much. Americans are scared. They talk too much. You see what I'm saying? And that guy, I swear, had they invoked the 25th Amendment back during his first term, when January 6th happened, none of this mess would be in play right now. But America being America, being the arrogant power that we actually are, he just playing around. He just playing. Nah, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. That's the problem. That's the problem. Too much mouth, no action behind that mouth. Now they're about to invoke the 25th Amendment. He's panicking now because them senators walked out on him. I'm just waiting for it to all hit the fan, so that he can be like, well, I was lying, because J.D. Vance was the one who originally organized that ceasefire with Pakistan and China to talk to Iran. People don't know that. I found that out watching on the Midas Touch because they were talking about that today. And I was like, oh, okay, so J.D. Vance is the one who wanted that ceasefire to come across Trump's desk, because J.D. Vance don't want that smoke.
Hold on, we jumping the gun. We didn't get there yet. Let me get everybody else's thoughts on the threat first. Paul.
You still there? Hey,
I'm here.
this man did not want to go and be hung for no war crimes. I'm telling you from day one, man, the Teflon Donnie. He's always got a big mouth. He talks without thinking. And then once it's thought through, he can't apologize, but he just back away. He moves away. Now, the ceasefire with Iran, that didn't last a good 3 hours. Because the people say, you bomb, well, you let your buddy over here bomb Lebanon, killing people. No, we supposed to have a ceasefire. That include everybody in our group. They're trying to know that don't include Lebanon. What I seen was it said include everybody in their group. No attacks on them. See what Donnie done went and done.
Wait, time out. I just want your thoughts on the threat that he made about ending their civilization first. We ain't get to the ceasefire yet.
Okay. So now, see that his threat, that's where it leads me to right there. His threat wasn't nothing. Just a narcissistic idiot running off his mouth. No substance whatsoever because he hasn't shown no substance in anything he's done. The man is a liar. I'm not gonna get mad because I know the shit coming from him, the stuff coming from him. I know it's coming. So my thoughts on Ray. I'm just watching his people watching him. I'm watching the people around the world watching him. It's all about him, the Donald. He's gonna burn and go to hell for it, but it's all on him.
Yeah, I think I ain't really think nothing of it, to be honest. What I thought was, here this go again. We probably gonna wake up in the morning and he done did something that nobody gonna agree on. He always running his mouth. You know, that's the problem. Like he not original. Cause you start making the same threats that they was making at us. They was talking about taking out our power and wiping out, cleaning everybody not credit, but like, you know, cleaning out stuff, basically like wiping out everything, wake up in the morning, something, and now I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I just feel like he just say things. I'm not going to say he just say things and don't do it, because at this point he got everybody not on the edge where it's more like what does he really do? Because you never know. Because to be honest, he might have, wake up in the morning. We might wake up in the morning and something else. So that's how I looked at it. Like when I saw it, like, he making another threat. He probably will. He probably won't. We won't know until we dot lines crossing T's. For real. Like for real.
I agree with everybody, and I'm with you too. In my mind, I'm like, you want to believe he not going to do nothing, but at this point, you can't put nothing past him. You can't just say, because we can't say he ain't did what he said he gonna do, because he has, and the state of America shows that he actually will do the stupid things that he say he will do. However, that takes us to at 8 o'clock. That did not happen. They went down to the wire and allegedly had a ceasefire. And today, some additional news broke on a ceasefire. But with this ceasefire, it's supposed to be for 2 weeks, right? Before I get into what the ceasefire entails, have y'all noticed every time he want to put an ultimatum on another country or group of people, it's always 2 weeks? What's with the 2 week thing? Do you anybody know?
Because he's buying time, right? He wants everybody to forget about it. That 2 week thing he keeps saying is to buy time because he doesn't have a plan. Like that's like if someone owes you money, I'm gonna pay you back in 2 weeks. They're counting on you forgetting the fact that they owe you money. You see what I'm saying? It's a psychology. It's dark psychology. They come to me asking me about money. I'll be like, all right, 2 weeks is up with my money. And I charge interest. And they were like, well, I ain't got it. Okay. You got one more day before I break a leg or something. Cause I don't play about that. People know me. They like, yo, Q's about that life. I'm like, yeah, I'm like the mafia when it comes to my money. They ask me for money and you say you're gonna pay me back during this time, then yeah, boom. This is what I expect. Hell, I even put the stuff in writing and make them sign a promissory paper.
You always go off.
Because I don't play with people. I don't play with these people out here. I do not play with these people.
Okay, but let's get back to his 2 week thing before we get to
Yeah,
your.
because that's what it is. He does not have a plan in place. He doesn't. When you listen to him ramble, this guy go from point A to point Z without going through B, C, D, E, and F in order. He just start from A, then go to X, then go to C, then go to B, then go to E and F. I'm like, dude, that's showing that he has some sort of cognitive decline. You know what I'm saying? That's like ADHD people. People with ADHD. That's why they have to take Adderall. That's why they have to take what's that other drug that they use other than Adderall? I can't remember what it was. My ex-girlfriend was on that because she can't focus. She has to use that to focus. That's just how Donald Trump is. He's flippant. He wants everything to be about him. Okay? If it ain't about him, he ain't about it. And I think America is starting to catch on, which they should have caught on during his first term, but here we are. He don't have a plan. He does not have a plan. He doesn't know how he's going to get up out of Iran.
But he's only doing what they allow him to do. Because I mean,
He got a plan.
I'm about to say, because he's only doing what they allow him to do, and I think when they see the responses from Americans is when it's like a oh crap moment. But they know he's gonna say and do what he gonna do. They don't ain't nobody take his phone. Yeah, he be tweeting and doing whatever he got to do and saying whatever he had to say. But the thing about it is he's moving the things like sending the military over there, bombing the things that he's already done. They supported that. They had to.
No, they didn't. He was doing stuff without permission. He shouldn't be the president anymore because that was the thing. He was not supported on some of the decisions that he made. People wasn't standing behind him with that. We were waking up. We literally woke up in the morning and found out he was doing certain things. It just getting worse and worse. Worser, as some people would say. It's getting worse, worser, and worse.
They keep
at this point. You feel me? It's just getting bad.
It ain't gonna stop. That's what they allow him to do it.
And he do got a plan. He do got a plan. When he done here, he going to Venezuela and be the president. He got a plan. He got a whole plan because he's really good in language and he can learn Spanish. That's exactly what he said. He got a whole plan. That's where the money went. That's where all the money from the oil. That's where the money from that he took all the budget cuts. All that money that he took all in the beginning, he taking all that money and he's gonna be the president of Venezuela and the oil.
But then this was the kicker. I told you this what got me when he got up there on that little podium and was like, they need to buy oil from America because America has plenty of oil. We got all the oil. And they can buy all the oil from us. And I'm looking like, oh, see the prices. If we got all the oil, why this shit so high?
First of all,
ain't no way.
Technically, he's right. Remember, Alaska, the pipeline in Alaska, down in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast. There's plenty of oil there. But what he's trying to do is boost up American stocks by saying this, right? He's trying to get everybody to reinvest in America by him saying this. But the way he's acting, they're not going to do it. It's all coded in the language.
He's
Because he's the
manipulating the
generational
stock
bully.
market.
Yep.
He's manipulating the stock market. Everything he does affects the stock market. So basically, what he's in there doing, he's manipulating the stock market, getting paid.
Mm,
This,
mm, mm.
this crook. That's what he is. He's a crook.
Yeah, that's
He's
exactly what
like
he is.
he's like Nixon, but Nixon said he wasn't a crook. But he's a crook. He done scammed the whole country. The whole country. Your Venezuelan to be president, Coco. He done scammed the whole country.
You been on me out though. You've been on my neck since Monday.
I feel you, Paul. She keeps saying that's our president. Like,
Yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah,
know that dude. I
yeah,
don't know
so
that
like,
dude.
yeah, yeah. I keep catching it all the time. Y'all's president. Yeah, okay. But
I mean,
anyhow,
I'm talking about anybody, but y'all gotta think it's people that listen or watch the show that has voted for him. There are people who do support him. So it's not just y'all, it's like a y'all.
well, to
Oh,
y'all that
you can
voted,
say
don't
and
include me
boo
in
to
that.
y'all.
that.
Don't
Because
include
no,
Mr. Moore in that conversation because I ain't
myself
part of that,
neither.
y'all.
Yes, myself is neither. But anyhow,
Wow.
this man, he done convince these people. He done convince them through the grip, the big con artist. Cause ain't no way in the world, nobody that's been convicted of 34 felonies, whatever, impeached before. Oh, Lord. From bankrupts, every business he done been in, every endeavor he done invested in, he's been bankrupt. He should have money from the apprentice. That money gone, been gone. A pedophile. Lord, and they voted for this man to be the president of the United States. Everybody seems to forget about Elon Musk coming up in there, rushing up in the place, him and his people taking information and data and shit and disappearing.
We're going off topic.
No, because that's how he got up in there to
I
do what he's
know,
doing.
but
Ain't that still the same topic?
no.
What topic was we on?
I'm about to move because we gotta get to this by now
Because
because the
there's
rest
so much
is
tied into
it,
him,
yeah,
man.
it is. But we that's why I did the thing. So let's just get into the terms of what the ceasefire was. I'm gonna just read it off and then y'all comment on that because I still have two additional topics. That's one is Jude's and one is yours, and I want everybody to get the time. Um, so the 2 week ceasefire between the United States and Iran, broken by whatever, has halted to 40 days of U.S. Israeli strikes on Iran and reopened the strait for safe commercial shipping. The key agreed points were the U.S. commitment to halt all military strikes and bombing of Iran for the next 2 weeks, claiming all U.S. objectives had been met. Iran's commitment to cease defensive operations in exchange for U.S. and Israeli halting attacks to allow safe passage through the strait, coordinated with its armed forces. Um, the strait reopened for regulated passage, with Iran overseeing coordination, may impose technical limits or fees. Peace negotiations. Both sides agreed to use the 2 weeks to finalize a 10-point Iranian peace proposal and a 15-point U.S. proposal, with talks to begin in what, Islamabad, whatever it is. I probably said that wrong. So the scope. Pakistan's announcement said that the ceasefire covers everywhere, including Lebanon and elsewhere, but Israel has said Lebanon is not included. So Iran's 10-point plan, the partial details are fundamental U.S. commitment to non-aggression, regulated passage through the strait under Iranian coordination, full sanction relief for Iran, continue Iranian control over transit through the strait, acceptance of enrichment for Tehran's nuclear program, a point at odds with U.S. positions. So the U.S. 15-point plan partial detail, withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from regional bases, end of Iranian nuclear missile and terror threats to the U.S., Israel, and Arab neighbors. What are your thoughts?
Well, the ceasefire, I was really not that hopeful about it when it came about because of, the whole JD Vance getting involved in it, because I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to angle to become the president, the interim president, so that he can invoke that 25th Amendment against Trump. But if you think about it, JD Vance is just as bad as Trump is. Number one, he ain't popular. Trump ran on the fact that he's popular, right? This is why I go back to that whole star, what conversation about celebrities. That's why I don't care about celebrities. JD Vance is about the Handmaid's Tale. Okay? He's trying to get everything back to where everybody's getting babies and white nationalism, white Christian, and so is Pete Hegseth, and so is Stephen Miller, and that whole cabinet. They all going to jail. Once Trump go, he's going to start talking. He's going to bring them down one by one, and they all going to jail. They probably may end up getting hung. Trump definitely will be getting hung because he's committing treason. Okay? In the Constitution, it says if you commit treason, you get what? You get hung by the neck until dead. It says it right there, black and white. Founding fathers wrote it.
So
okay.
What do you think of the terms that they the partial terms that came out so far?
The partial terms that came out so far, I figured it wasn't going to hold because Trump's so impulsive. He was going to go back on his word. The man is not a man of his word.
Right.
Okay? The man lies constantly. He lies so much, I think he's a rug. Okay? And you got these morons believing this guy. These MAGA morons believe in this guy. Think every day is honey that comes out of his mouth. I'm like, no, he's trash. When they start realizing such trash, that's when they're going to be like, well, I didn't know. Trump said himself, he loves the uneducated. He loves ignorant people because he can get over on them.
Uneducated and ignorant?
Bingo! That part.
Yeah, educated and ignorant himself. He just like to keep himself around. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was the question? What was
It
the
was
question?
a whole lot. I was asking about the details of what was partially the point for the details for the ceasefire. How did y'all feel about predominantly what I read, or something from what I read and what I sent y'all?
Man, hold up, because I was reading it too, friend. But then medication kicked in, and then I was listening, and I kind of got away.
Well, I feel like it was. I kind of figured in my mind. I felt like, okay, the ceasefire was going to be bullcrap. I said somebody was going to do something to give in because too much has been said and too much has been done. And then if I'm thinking of like over there, like in Iran and Israel and all of them things, when you send those type of threats, they don't take that lightly. So for me, I'm like, oh, they probably going to agree to it, but then they're going to do something. But you said you didn't get the topic, J Bear. The point was, I was asking how on the ceasefire, the details that came out today. So we were discussing that part. But I feel like they which we see now, they didn't cut off the strait again. It didn't even last a full 24 hours. And I kind of figured that you can't do that and say you're going to end people who are willing to die for their cause, and you talking about ending their civilization of what they know.
So what I think is, one, like I was saying, I think the other day, that bully culture is in him. And he thought that he was going to get on this good old platform out there and talk crap. And them people wasn't going. But see, one thing this selfish America don't understand is that people outside of here are fighting for different things, and they will fight for home. The same thing where I believe in, if stuff get real bad and something war was to come here, we will finally see that here, because Americans are gonna fight. People are gonna fight to stay alive. You feel me? And when you're talking about wiping out the whole civilization, let somebody talk about wiping out the whole U.S. like United States. We are not, as citizens, going to sit back and be like, you're going to see everybody, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you feel me? But it's the fact that, like that comment just said, because it popped up, like he willing to kill innocent people. It's just, when do it get to the point where y'all stop?
Enough is enough, right?
He getting on there, and I agree with what you said about the previous topic. There's no like consequences for the things that he's doing, and he just keep doing stuff, just keep doing it. I thought that the government as a whole was a system, and it took every part to move and to have certain things happen. I think that they ain't messing with him, because not only are we talking about messing with getting him out of office, we talking about getting them out of office too, because their term's too long. The whole thing need to be fixed. And this just opened everybody's eyes. Whereas we right now are at active war amongst each other in America, but it opened our eyes with a lot. This is gonna be the last time something like this be able to slide. I tell you that, because we starting to get, as citizens, starting to feel like everything that they call unhinged, or that he say they over there setting the government straight. It might be a fight and they might be destroying their country, but at least they doing it. They fighting their government. You got our government fighting us.
And they still didn't forget about that children's school that he bought.
Yeah, that should have, that alone
Still on that.
should have got him impeached.
It should have, but it didn't. And then he had, but then he just. That's what I'm saying. He just keep doing stuff. There's no way he's doing what they keep allowing him to do. They're not doing nothing, or he doesn't have any consequences. So I'm like, they allow him to do it. So he's going to keep doing it. He's going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they're going to have to sit him down. But either way, we still screwed, because damn sure ain't no better.
They got the majority.
I don't got much to say about Vance.
They got the majority, so they're gonna keep. The Republicans got the majority, so they're gonna back him, because they don't want to be punished and crucified by and they terrified of him. So long as he got the majority, he gonna do what he's doing. What is that?
That's what I don't understand. Why they terrified of this man? This man had boo-boos in his clothes. I ain't afraid of somebody that always dookie in his clothes. World leaders have come up to him, okay? And they were like, they would sit there, the Japanese prime minister. I showed y'all that video in the chat. Japanese prime minister, she made faces at him when he like lifted up his seat and he farted. And it's been, look, he's not showing the marks of a world leader. Okay. Him, Mitch McConnell himself, Mr. Glitch, right? He has a glitch. They say he has a glitch. I was like, no, that's what toddlers do when they have that long stare. That means they dooking in their pants. That's what Trump does. Okay? What world leader can't hold his water or his bowels, but represent strength?
Well, they all old as hell.
I don't care. I don't care.
No, but it's part of the problem. It is. Because all of them are like 80, 90 years old. They should not be in them positions anyway. And that's probably why the decisions being made, because they have senile and doing everything else. But unfortunately, that's something that comes with old age. They start wearing, diapers and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised.
He old as hell. I can't wait till I get that old.
He like 80 something or 90, right?
I think he in his 80s.
Yeah. So that's to be expected. I wouldn't put it past him.
That's not to be expected. He didn't take care of himself. That's not to be expected. I mean, maybe expected for people like him. That might be what you mean, like your president. That might be expected for him.
Hey Paul.
Because I'm gonna tell you what.
Hey
Hey,
Paul. Don't look.
I about time, God willing, by the time I get that age, I'm not gonna be expected. It ain't gonna be expected of me. Heck no. I'm not gonna be walking around with no kind of odor and taking dumps
Now,
in
I
my
don't know about the
pants.
older. I don't know about the older, but I don't
There are
know too
people
No,
many
that wear
people in their
Depends.
80s that don't need to depend.
Yeah. They wear
Th-
Depends.
You do gotta wipe your
no,
butt.
not a whole lot of them. Not a whole lot around here. If they do, they can wear them well. Cause I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
what. I
First of
don't
all,
can't look
the
at
new
them all
Depends
the
are stylish. The new ones are stylish. They got the high waist Depends. They got the ones that form fit.
With the little
Listen, the girl.
designs on them.
See, the women wear them during the women times too. Not just not just when you're elder. Some women wear them for you know women times. But yeah, man, they got some keepers. They didn't spoof them up. They different than the pamper, the big diaper that you used to have the. Yeah, they don't got them ones no more. They used to be they got leak proof ones now.
Can I read some of the comments real quick? Charles J Bear on YouTube. He said, Trump knows he's about to get that charge. Then he also said he's a bully. People were standing around like it was NFL draft to see if he would bomb. And then he said, good response. I'm out Q. Who? And then he said, cool Q. Who owes you? Let's get him. And then he said he got a plan B. My president still Obama. That's what he says. Then Jay Jackson 8732 also says, speaking of Obama, do y'all think he will have something to do with the next president? And then he also says, was JD Vance? I'm not going to read that one because I'm not trying to cancel today. Then he said, I didn't get the topic, Coco, so I clarified it for him. But how y'all feel that he is willing to kill innocent people and wipe out that country? So we answered that. And then Daytrick Brackett on Facebook said the plan all along is market manipulation. And then Jay Jackson on YouTube says, I depend on myself. Then Daytrick says the U.S. and Israel bombed an oil refinery in Iran this morning. Couldn't even go 24 hours, let alone 2 weeks. That's what I was. That was going to be my next question. How do y'all feel about when I saw that headline? I was coming home. I was getting off of work on my way home, and I heard it, and it was like they already closed off the street, like pretty much like a big middle finger, and this is like the third. And I'm like, and in my mind, I said, I knew this wasn't going to last because too much has been said and too much has been done. And then when you think about the soldiers that we lost, I'm sorry, like not only on our side, there's it's too much to happen for it to just go that easily. And then both sides are claiming they're winning or they got their way and all of this other stuff. So I can only imagine what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, I don't expect nothing less from Donald Trump. I don't know what them other people got going on. I'm paying attention to what the person that's in charge, the commander in chief of the United States, got going on, because that is, I know we supposed to pay attention to what's going on in the world. When we got a troublemaker, that's what we supposed to be focused on, our troublemaker, because things can get real wicked around here. And I mean, living in the military state, living on the coast, we don't live on that coast, but we do live fairly close to the president, where he won't be if some stuff really went down. You feel me? He won't even be there, but it won't stop them from turning DC up if they need to. You feel me? And,
he's already torn up the White House because the Rose Garden, right, to make his incredible big ballroom. And I was like, what the hell does he need a ball?
He took down the whole East Wing.
Right, the East Wing or whatever. He took down the Rose Garden too. And the East Wing, because
but you know why he took down the East Wing? The East Wing went to the first ladies. He's sexist.
That and plus
because they shut him down, but then you see he put in another motion so that he can go back to renovating that wing. I say he is bold and stupid. He's a true narcissist. I agree with you.
Because he, what he was actually doing, building a bunker, right? And I'm like, dude, you ain't gonna be around long enough to see that bunker being built. What are you doing?
He ain't building it for him. He building it for his kid. And where is the money from the budget cuts? That's all I want to know.
And Elon pocket. That's why Elon coming out with all these businesses. That was the goal. Because if you notice, when he left, he got quiet.
You know, with all this going on, right? I'm just asking one question. Is there any other places you'd rather be born?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Because I mean, you know, I'm American true and true. I don't like what's going on here, but I just feel like it was people on the citizens' behalf to put him in office for real. Like we got a history, our country, of making horrible decisions. It don't matter what race you are. Yes, some race make more horrible decisions than others, but we all got our stuff. But for this to be the narrative in 2026, I don't know, man. Me being an adult, like this is what we grew up for. It's ghetto. I just like, man, the older generation, and it's not, and no offense to nobody, because everybody's so sensitive, but it's like, man, the older generation got so much stuff with them. We dealing with this because it's mainly a bunch of older, mean, mad people stuck in their ways, calling the shots, paving the way for the next person in their family to do the same thing. Man, it's crazy. Donald Trump should have never been able to be president. And the fact that it's 2026 and we like, that's the narrative. We don't even know who we want to be. I don't even want no president.
Yeah, but like I said,
It's like who comes first of all? It's like who comes after this?
Yeah,
and then like, so much that has been done. At this point, how do you fix it? How do you clean it up? It can't be. It's so dismantled. It's so much has been exposed. You got America is pretty much just upside down. It's so much just going on, and it's like, what do you, I agree. It's like, one, who do you vote for? Who going at another old ass person?
No, Caesar. Where is Caesar? Where is Caesar and the Planet of the Apes? And then bring it on. Come on, because I'm sick of it. Because the humans ain't doing right. Where's Caesar? Q, where Q?
Yeah.
Q, where is Caesar?
Probably dead, fiddling with Nero somewhere.
That's the first time I heard you gotta ask you about Caesar from the Planet of the Apes to get you to stutter. Oh, I ain't bad.
I'm more worried about what's his name, Dr. Xavier or whatever, that the intelligent orangutan, Dr. Zeus or whatever his name was.
Listen.
That had the orange coat. You know, man, I'm like, yo, I gotta get that jacket. Yo, that jacket is hot. That dude had the orange coat to match with his skin. Yo, that dude was lit. That dude was so lit. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it's we don't know what's going to happen, right? All that we know is that when the midterms happen, everything is going to get flipped again. That's when the Democrats are going to get the balls to do what they should have done a long time ago, which was get his ass up out of office. But I don't know why they were so scared of him. Why? He's just a human being. You know, just like, you remember Rocky, right? When Rocky was fighting Mr. T. And what did Mickey say? He's just a man, Rock. He's just a man. He's not a machine. He's just a man. That's all Donald Trump is a man. That man he is a blowhard. You know what you do with a blowhard? You punch him dead in the mouth. He'll shut up after that. And if you do it in front of everybody, he'll be like totally embarrassed and he won't come out to play anymore. That's what should have been done. Punch him in the mouth the first time. He'll be left. He'll leave everything alone. But America being America, voting this cult of celebrity again, celebrity, because he was on The Apprentice, and you know, the star, you know what, the star effort country that we actually are, because we love celebrity. They voted his ass in, knowing he was unqualified, but he's Donald Trump. He's got all the money.
Okay, I'm gonna read two comments real quick, and then I'm gonna introduce Paul's topic. So I hope Paul, I hope you're ready. Um, 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 Dion, hey Dion, Dion Amanda Reed said, like Cat Williams said, it's time for the USA to be single for a while after this. I agree. And then Jay Jackson 8732 on YouTube said, I think those two people that they fired going to help Democrats or help them out. I don't think so. Um, then Dion also said, we can think we can thank Merrick Garland for this mess. If he had charged him for the January 6th, we wouldn't have been in this mess. True. Very true. Thank you for bringing that up.
Bingo.
I definitely agree. So, because we have two additional topics that my beautiful people up here wanted to discuss, we're going to hit the mayor first. So, I enhanced his topic a little bit with a little couple of things, like a couple of key points as well. So, Paul's question was, why do people always want to cancel people when they go against what they believe in? So I did a little search on the local Google. So the local Google, y'all know that's my thing, said ideology and alignment and group protection, meaning research shows that people are more likely to sanction statements that offend their own ideology, even if the speaker is from their own group. This reflects a desire to protect the values and identity of their own in group. When someone beliefs clash with these values, cancellation can be seen as a way to maintain ideology purity. Then amplification through social media. The internet and social media lower the barrier to public shaming. A single post or statement can trigger coordinated campaigns, making cancellations more visible and impactful. This amplification can feel like a form of justice to those who see it as holding people accountable. This one is good too. But Paul, you go into your topic first, because I know this won't be good.
I mean, let's talk about people, like you say, ideologies. Snoop Dogg, Kevin Hart, Chili, Chris Brown was really at one time, but I see he's back to being disrespectful and everything. But I mean, people that these people idolize, and like they see, like Chili. Chili says, "Well, I didn't do this. I didn't know I was doing that." No, you was voting for Trump and campaigning again. You know, there wasn't much money you donated. And I mean, people go ahead and admit to what you do. Live your life. But you gotta be out here portraying the image. And people keep getting fooled by images. An image will never get you anywhere. Believing in the image. It keeps telling you, for people that say they believe in the Bible, but they place their trust in images. They place their beliefs in images, their faith in images. And when those images crack or dissolve and don't be what they're supposed to be or what they expect them to be, then they say, oh, we're going to cancel them. I mean, you fell in love with the image. You got to remember, this person was a human. They're still just a human just like you are. You fell in love with something that isn't. Why not even paying attention to what was? I mean, so I don't know. That's my thing. Why do people feel like they can just cancel anybody because they don't live up to the image that they expect them to?
Can I go next? The piggyback off what you said about Chili. I think more so her lying about supporting him is what really did it for a lot of people. Like, for us, like the Ice Cubes and everybody else, they owned it. The Nicki Minaj's, they came out, they stood 10 toes, they doubled down on the fact that they supported him. Okay, it is what it is. But she started lying when it came out and didn't want to stand on her truth. I think that's why a lot of people were at her neck. But when it comes down to why people try to cancel people who have a belief differ, I'm gonna even not even just go on a celebrity route, but just on a people route and community route. Individuality has been a thing. It seems like it's a thing of the past. Everybody wants to control how everybody thinks. Everybody wants to have the same mindset. So we can all disagree and it's cool, right? But I'm not going to beef with somebody who don't have the same outlook or viewpoint or perspective that I have. And I think that's one of the problems in today's society is that if you have a different viewpoint, we could still think the same, but something might maybe a little bit different. It's like shunned upon. But then people like to follow people who think just like them. So anything that's outside of that is like foreign, and it's this big issue. We're not going for that. It's going to get it canceled. So whoever can get the most people behind them to think like them, I think that's where the cancel culture comes in. But I think we need to get back to uniqueness and people actually having a mind of their own and individuality. Like, you can do research, we can agree, we can do everything, and I think that takes away from conversation. That takes away from knowledge and research and things like that. So I think it's a deeper conversation that has to be had when it comes to like the counseling of people not having the same belief. One, go back to what you said. Would you want to be in any other country? Be born in any other country? We're in America. You're supposed to have free range to be free minded, but it seems like that's not a thing. In other cultures, they don't have that. So, but when we notice in here, especially when it comes to like social media and now the networks, if you don't live a certain way, think a certain way, do a certain way, you're belittled. It's like you're a piece of trash. I'm trying not to cuss. You're a piece of trash, and that's not cool. But then when you have people like us and people like that in our social circles, we can appreciate a different perspective or a different viewpoint. I want you to give me a different outlook. So now I can do some extra homework or teach me. People are not knowledgeable. People just want to go with the status quo. That's all I got.
It's because, like you said, and Coco, you nailed it. You nailed it. Spot on. People want it to be, and Paul, you nailed it too. It's about being a monolith, right? People want to have monolithic thinking, meaning singular thinking, right? Everybody wants to think the same. Everybody's supposed to move one way. Okay, that's what they do in North Korea. That's what they do in these totalitarian countries. Because if you speak out against the government, guess what they do? They put you in the gulag or they hang you. They'll shoot you right there on the spot. Because it's by fear, right? Here in America, people do not think for themselves. They don't. It used to be a time where we could have a differing opinion and still be cool, right? Those days are gone because I had several friends who were MAGA and they canceled me. And I told them, okay, once you come off my page, you can't come back on and do a friend request because I won't accept you because you've already shown me your hand. Don't even come up to me at a game wanting to take pictures. Don't even speak to me. Treat me like I ain't there because I'm sure treat you like you ain't there. Okay? Because that's how people tend to act. If you don't think like them, then yeah, you're a piece of trash. Okay, I'll be a piece of trash then. I'll be a piece of trash. But I'll still sleep good at night. Because I don't follow. I've always been the type to never follow. I always lead. I always do my own thing. When the crowd goes right, I go to the left. I move away from the crowd. Because groupthink is what the problem is. And that's why people get so wrapped up in, such and such did this. They start hit that he say she say thing, and I'm like, yo, you want to say what you want to got beef about what I said? Come see me. Don't go around the corner to whoever.
Before you go
Come
too
see
far,
me.
can you elaborate on what groupthink is? Because I love, I'm a TED Talk girl, so groupthink.
Okay, groupthink is when a group of people, they really aren't thinking, right? Okay, there's a leader in a groupthink session, right? This is always common in corporate America, where the manager is like dictating in a meeting, and you got yes men. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. We're gonna go along with this, blah blah blah, and it doesn't work. Well, we'll still go along with it, even though it's a stupid idea. When you have that one dissenter that's saying, "Hey, man, I don't think this is going to work," the herd is going to jump on that one dissenter. They're going to be like, "You ain't part of the crew because you're not thinking like how we think. So we got to ostracize you. We got to put you over here, put you on an island because you're not part of us."
It creates irrational decision making because one
Yeah,
person has to control it.
exactly, and it's irrational behavior. It's irrational behavior. That's why I don't. That's why I tend to minimize my contact around a group of people, because once they start, group thinking, and I'm like, and I see it, I go away from it because I don't want to be a part of it because I don't think like them. They want, let them think what they think, and then when they think wrong, then they be like, well, Q, you were right. You were right. Oh yeah. Well, can I apologize to you? No, you cannot, because you showed me who you were. You showed me your hand. When they say, I'm not racist, especially white people. They cut. They. I had several white people call me on the phone. Hey, man, do you think I'm racist? I was like, I don't know. Are you? Why you asking me that question? You got something? You got something to say on your chest? Well, I voted for Trump, because Trump's not racist. I'm like that. Like hell, he ain't. He is very much so. He's aligned himself with white nationalists. He's always aligned himself with white nationalists. It's in his family tree that he's aligned himself with white nationalists. Okay, his father, grandfather, they're all part of the Ku Klux Klan. My dog barking, but they were all part of the Ku Klux Klan. Okay, his thinking aligns with their thinking. I can't be affiliated with those type of people, nor will I ever be affiliated with those type of people, because those type of people don't jive with me. Because they may say, "Oh, you're one of the good ones, Q. You're one of the good ones." I'm like, "Good what? You're not like all the other blacks." I'm not like all the other blacks. Well, how do all the other blacks like? Explain me that. Well, no, I don't know. Tell me. This is why I don't get involved with groups, because of that line of thinking. That's all I got to say.
I was writing a bunch of stuff down. I'm gonna read, and then I'm gonna ad lib. One, I'm gonna start with the chili. Number one, it ain't nobody damn business who she voted for. Voting is a private thing. It ain't been a publicized thing for real. It was a choice. If you chose, it's a private matter. It's a secret ballot. So whoever leaking all that, this stuff ain't start happening until Donald Trump became in office. Because as long as I remember, everybody took voting secret, and I never understood that at first. I still, like, what's the big secret? You voted. You feel me? I don't care. I tell people I'm one of the people who will tell you who I voted for. But to be mad because somebody voted for somebody, who cares? That's their right to do that. That's their thing. That's what they gotta do. You feel me? They gotta deal with that. They made that choice. You know how many choices I make that I probably shouldn't have? That's all I'm saying. Then what I say about that? Because I said I don't give a dang who voted for Trump. Because I don't. I ain't vote for him. That's your thing. Everybody cancel that person because they voted. For what? I ain't cancel you for the stupid decisions I know you made. You put now we picking and choosing. Sound like some Donald Trump stuff to me. I'm gonna start calling stuff the Trump effect. Then I was like, I don't care if you support Donald Trump. I don't. I may have an opinion about it, but that's your problem. You put him in office. I will make sure you understand every time he do something that is part of your fault and your vote. You feel me? But I mean, feel free to tell me. Wait. I vote for a president that do something we ain't supposed to. Tell me it was my fault. Because guess what? You voted for him. Be proud. And if you decide that you made a decision, a bad decision, that's between you and your decisions. I ain't judging. I'm looking at you, and I'm, hey, whatever. Q, you said something about people talk about am I racist, right? Let me say, well, they say like, are you racist? If you gotta ask me, my face gonna tell you. Don't ask me. I ain't the one to ask.
Exactly.
I ain't the one to ask. Don't ask me them type of questions. Then I said, then I went to, it's easier to cancel people than to actually fix the problem. People would rather just cancel a situation. Oh, I don't like what they did, whatever. Oh, we're going to cancel. Don't get me wrong. Some of them people absolutely need to get canceled. But that made me think. I do not understand how Donald Trump ain't canceled yet. Because we have canceled people for way less. I'm not understanding how that man is still there. And then the people expect themselves and everybody. I used to be one of them guilty people, and at times I can be, because when you are kind-hearted and do things from the heart, not to get things in return, not to get rewarded for it all the time, because sometimes your reward comes when you least expect it, for real. But when you do things because that's just naturally you, who you are, the hate gonna be there. People gonna hate. It don't stop me from being who I am. You need to figure out who you are. People get mad because the expectations of them, how great you are. Just understand, you are great at who you are. These people can't be who you are. Shine. Just move. Y'all gotta learn how to treat people accordingly. Everybody can't be me. I don't even think I want to be around a bunch of me's. We had some issues.
Thank you.
But so people are very soft, follow leader bullies. Everybody want to be soft. They don't want to touch. They want you to not say this. They want you to be careful, but they want to be able to say what they want to say. They want to be able to do what they want to say. And that's how people get canceled, because people get in their feelings. Everybody in their feelings about stuff, but everybody also are opinionated. So everybody like soft, opinionated bullies. We going to cancel you because I don't like what you say. And then they go and wait a couple months, and then they start doing the same thing that you was doing.
Yeah.
They gotta get you out the way. Brings me to the hateration. It's a lot of hateration out here. And then put all the Gatorade away. Hateration is people will cancel you to take your spot. They made a movie about it. Cancel you to take your spot.
It's also because if you came up with an idea, right, a brilliant idea.
Hold on, 2 seconds. Then I said, this is America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Why are you using our soldiers like they are the toy soldiers? And why do we feel like this is the Hunger Games on this soil? Where is the oil and where is the money from the budget cuts?
That was she means because she asks that every week. Friend, I'm waiting for an answer too. I'm with you.
I wrote all that down on my paper. Q, it is on you.
Nailed it. No, but you definitely nailed it. Every point, I definitely agree.
Yeah, definitely. because people, like you said, Jude, and I applaud what you said, because you nailed it. Everybody is self-righteous. All right, this country, there's a lot of people that think they're better than everybody else, and my way is the best way, and I'm self-righteous, and this, that, and the third. Because I got several Facebook friends that are self-righteous, and then they they always come on my, and I warned them. I said, I notice you always come on my page, but I never go on yours. You want to know why that is? Because I don't give a flying you know what about what you think. This is my page. If you don't like what I got to say on my page, you can kick rocks with no socks in a shoebox. Okay? That's how that's going down.
You
I'm
on
making
mute.
up curse words. Q, you gotta look in the private chat. I'm making up curse words so that we can.
All right. Do we have anything else on this before we get to Drew's topic? No? Yeah, we can go to the next one.
Yeah.
Not kick rocks and socks in a shoebox. Okay. So wrapping up that. So I think the best way to take that out, Drew did amazing as always. So the next topic we have is Jude's topic. So I did the same thing with Jude. She sent me a topic. She gave me she gave me the local Google search. And I went on there and I did a copy and paste. All right. Okay, I'm gonna be completely transparent. So Jude said, friend, can we talk about the cost of living 10 years ago to today? I said, sure. So what I copy and pasted was general inflation and purchasing power. From 2012 to 2022, inflation averaged around 2% per year, but the cumulative effect was significant. A $100 in 2012 would have the purchasing power of about $74 in 2022. If inflation averaged 3% annually, however, Consumer Price Index CPI rose about 586% over the 1973 through 2023 period, meaning nominal dollars today can buy more than they could in the late 1970s. Still, the cost of necessities has outpaced its growth. Housing. The median U.S. home price in 1970 was about $17,000, which equals roughly $142,000 in 2025 dollars. Today's median is around $417,700, nearly triple inflation adjusted value. Since 1973, sorry, home prices have risen over 1,000%, while mortgage rates have been similar to 1973 levels. Wages haven't kept pace, making housing unaffordable for many. Education. Public university tuition averaged $394 a year in 1970. 3,294 in 2025 dollars, and is now about $10,000 a year, more than triple inflation adjusted. Private school tuition has jumped 158% since the 1970s. Healthcare medical costs have risen nearly 27% since 2012. Doctor visits, hospital stays, surgeries, and prescription drugs are more expensive today than a decade ago. Food and transportation. Some staples have actually become cheaper after inflation adjustment. A gallon of milk cost $1.32 in 1970, about $11 in 2025 dollars, but is now $3.98. 64% cheaper in real terms. Eggs are similarly cheaper. Gasoline prices at the pump are about the same as a decade ago, despite higher inflation. The end. Jude.
Yeah. So I guess because they were making less money back then in comparison to what we're making now, that in certain instances things balance out. But just to see like how they can just steadily keep everybody at a chokehold, and it's just the selected few that can get out. I had looked at that because one thing the news I had brought that topic up because one thing the news keep bringing up is the prices of things this time a year ago, this time 5 years ago, this time And I was like, well, how much was stuff like 10 years ago? I think about being just an adult. Not adult, 10 years ago. That was about right. Why did it seem like I was at a lower paying job, a lower paying place where I'm living with bills and car payments and all this stuff, and it seemed like I was in a less financial chokehold than I am today. And I was sitting trying to figure out what was going on in my life 10 years ago. What is the difference in how I was living back then and now? And I know that y'all will wonder how this time with the president. And I really think it has all in, because I think a lot of them same Congress people was still there too. It really has a lot to do with who's in power and how they run things, how they operate and work with them hand in hand. But that was I was thinking, 10 years ago, it seemed like life was different, and life ain't really that bad. It's just harder. It seems like the older I'm getting, the harder it gets, and it seems like that's the narrative with a lot of older people. The older they get, and the harder again. When you done worked your whole life for things to get unaffordable for you. Think about somebody that was working in the 70s, like how we working now, but living today.
Yep. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you, and I definitely feel where you're coming from. Like today versus 10, even 15 years ago, it did seem like okay, you were making less, you were just getting started in your careers, whatever was going on. It did seem like you were holding your head above water, right? But today, I think part of the problem, and it kind of said it in there, everything is going up except for wages. And what we're seeing today, well, from what I see, from my own personal opinion, a lot of companies are underpaying. And especially since the tariffs and everything happened, but I do agree it's the administration because I even see, even when I was looking for another job or whatever, I would see places that would start off with six figures or whatever. Now they're not. You might get a little under five, or let's say if they started off with 90,000, now they're like, okay, we'll pay you 70. You get what I'm saying? So what everything companies are saving money in certain areas because one, they're not getting a lot of products like they used to. It's a whole bunch of stuff going along with it. But I say that to say this. Um, people aren't making enough to live and pay for everything that's going on that's costing up. Because right now we see utility bills are through the freaking roof. We see everything that we need for that's a necessity of life that we have to pay for is extremely high, and in some cases higher than what your rent or your mortgage may be. Right. So people are pretty much debating on what are they going to pay because they're not bringing in the same type of money. So that's also part of the problem. And I can even go back a little further. I remember when I was coming up, probably telling my age, I remember when like people was paying like $200 and $300 for rent, and it was considered a lot when you was considered you was in some nice shit. You know, so and then now I agree that has like it's 1,000% more expensive. So it's like just to live, you got to scrape and crawl and do whatever. So I definitely agree with that. But I think it's all around. I do agree with it's who's in the office, what's going on, and how certain things are going. And right now, the trade market is just completely a shit show. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
because you got to remember, the United States does not manufacture anything any longer, right? Back in the days, 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, we had what automobile factories, right? And everybody had a blue collar job. A lot of people had a blue collar job. United States don't manufacture anything anymore. All we do is manufacture parts, but not the whole car. You see what I'm saying? Or um, just they inflated the materials to build something. You see what I'm saying? Especially computer chips. because of all the, the technology and all that. It takes a lot of processing power to run data centers. It takes a lot of processing power for the computers, for AI, et cetera, et cetera. United States, it has always been that type. All right, let's go ahead, jack up whatever. Speaking of like the job front, like, I've been like hustling with Lyft and still trying to get my job back in IT, and I'm getting offers, but they're well below what I am capable of doing. Right? So they keep coming at me. I was like, listen, I told them, I said, look, my rate is between 28 and 35 an hour because of all the experience I got. I got 15 years experience in the field. And that's not really, I should be asking for more, but I'm like, I'm not going to be greedy. They came at me with like 20, 21, and I was like, no, $21 an hour. What am I going to do with that? I can't even buy bubble gum at that rate. You see what I'm saying? So, and I asked him, I said, it's mainly like a lot of, Hindus that call me. I call them Hindus or Indians or whatever. Eastern Indians calling me. Can't understand a word they saying, but they're trying to sell me on the idea of this particular company that saw my resume and want to talk to me. But then when I asked them, they would ask me, so what's your going rate? I tell them negotiable because I put the ball in their court. They were like, well, some say 35, and I'm like, yep, that's right up my alley. Then one was like, well, we want to talk to you. We got a job for you at $20 an hour. I was like, 20? I don't even wake up for that kind of money. I said, don't even ring my phone for that kind of money. That's teenager money. What do I look like? A schmuck? You know what I'm saying? No. Bills have gone up. Utilities have gone up, but your paycheck hasn't. Because those that sit at the top, they're greedy, right? Those, the CEOs and all that, what do? They suck every day. They say it's trickle down economics. Look, I ain't got a sprinkle. Okay? They don't even spit my way. You know what I'm saying? Trickle down economics. Man, listen. I don't even feel a drop of pee coming my way. Talking about trickle down economics. Because I know people that have been working the same job 8 to 10 years, they haven't had a raise. That's ridiculous. They haven't even had a raise. I was like, did you get a raise? No, I ain't get no raise. I'm like, what's going on, bruh? Why are you still there?
Not to cut you off, that's going on everywhere. I'm noticing a lot of people and a lot of companies are not doing raises at all. Well, a lot of people haven't had raises in years. I know the company that I just left did the same thing. It's not in the budget. It's not in the budget, and I can get it because a lot of funds to a lot of organizations are not coming in like they did because purchasing power. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Purchasing power, I get all of that. But in order to retain your talent, right? You spent all this money onboarding them, vetting them, and you're gonna pay them peanuts. This is why I decided, I made that decision. I really don't want to be in corporate America anymore because it's slavery. It's legalized slavery if you think about it. Because all the people at the top that sit at the top is getting all the money.
I feel attacked. I'm joking. I'm sorry. When you finish, or do you want to read that comment? Because I got an answer for that.
Yeah, they getting all the money. They're the ones that's taking trips to Europe, having like 3-week golf vacation while we slaving away. We building their dream. And I'm like, I got tired of building these people's dreams. And I ain't seeing nothing. I could barely get PTO approved. And they were like, well, if we give you PTO, Janie over here had asked for it a year ago. I say F Janie. Okay? F Janie. Janie just got here. And she asking for PTO. She ain't even been here 90 days. She asking for PTO and I've been here 8 years. You gonna give her over me? And I got seniority? F you. F you and the horse you rode in on in the group truck chasing it. I'm taking my PTO.
I be gagging every time you get closer. You be on it. He be mad.
No, it's like I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? The workers are being taken advantage of.
Very true.
Okay? And until we get the balls to stand up to these corporate giants, right? Because they're already trying to replace you anyway with AI.
They are replacing people with AI.
They're trying. A lot of them are trying.
Before we get into that, can I read this comment real quick?
Go ahead and go through the comments.
No, it's one in particular that I wanted to. He said, J Jackson 8732 on YouTube said, I heard there is a country there people don't pay nothing to live there, no rent, no bills, no, and living good. I feel I live in hell being true. I will say this: is I have a colleague, and we just had this conversation. I think I told you. I'm not sure. I think I told you about it. We were talking about it. So we were talking about like she was saying like her experience being here. She was like everything is here. Since they coming to America was like so expensive. And then we were talking about like healthcare, one of the topics that we talked about. And in her country, she's Malaysian. Um, she was saying they have free healthcare. Like they do like a donation. Like whatever services you get, even including surgeries, are free. And she's like, I forgot what kind of the name of their money or whatever it was. But she said, you can just donate that. I said, well, how much is that? She said, like 25 cents. I said, are you serious? I'm about to move and go to Malaysia. So places like that, even though a lot of countries are really strict in culture, they have a lot of things that we pay buku money for. And like a lot of, we know some other countries, they do like free services or healthcare services or certain things that you need to sustain life. They don't pay for. But in America, they're going to bleed you dry. And a lot of these people that come to this country, they being for a rude awakening when they get here. You ain't as free as you thought you did, as you thought you was going to be. And it's just crazy because I'm like just talking to her. It was like, I'm like, I was in amazement. I was just like, I want to go. Like you're on mute, Jude.
It's cons with that universal health care too, though. The wait lists are ridiculous. I mean, it's pros and cons like with our healthcare too. I don't think it should be as expensive. I'm sorry. Sorry, y'all. I don't think it should be as expensive as it is. Yeah, they was. Oh, what happened? But they pushed themselves. They was up on my chin. Hold up. Hello. Yeah, man. Y'all see the whole uncomfortable moment. Yeah. So I don't think our healthcare should be as expensive as it is, but I do feel as though I don't all agree with 100% universal healthcare either, because it's the wait lists for a lot of those things are just as long as ours. They just putting money in front of it. If you got more money, you probably got a better chance. Or over there, you gotta wait. It doesn't matter if you have money or not. So I mean, I get that part, but there's no difference. Then I'm just speaking strictly on transplant. I'm pretty sure, like, I haven't looked at the statistics, but I'm pretty sure like they probably got, I know like doctors aren't as valued in some countries as they are here. Like a taxi cab driver make more money than a doctor. You feel me? But over here in America, celebrities and athletes make more than doctors. So I mean, I guess it just kind of depends on where you're from, on how it is. I think that if we did have universal health care, people would complain about the hospitals being worse off than it is. If they just lowered the cost for healthcare, it would be a better way for America than just it being free. I don't think anything is free. You feel me? I don't think. I mean, you got people who going to school getting a lot of debt that they got to pay off, and if they just come into work for volunteer stuff, and Donald Trump stealing all the money and all the oil and not giving that money to the healthcare system, and big
Yeah.
pharma stealing money, because it's not the hospitals that's stealing money, it's not your doctors. All that money goes to big pharma. Big pharma's out of control, and the insurance companies. So if that got under control, the system would be ran better. But giving it out for free,
Yeah, this country ran off of capitalism like a mug.
yeah.
Everything is they want to capitalize. If they can't capitalize off of it, I mean, let's just look at Juneteenth. Remember when they were so against Juneteenth? Juneteenth wasn't a real thing, but when we started making shirts and doing all kinds of stuff, people were becoming entrepreneurs and making it festive. They saw how much money people was making. What's the next thing you saw? All of a sudden, they made it this holiday. You had an if or, and the next thing you know, you started seeing them shirts in Walmart, Target, Amazon, everywhere you want to go because they wanted to capitalize off of it. Everything is about capitalization.
Yeah, because
I want to go back. I
the
want to go back before we go too much further and get away
I
from.
just texted too and said Paul gotta go.
yeah.
It's what happened right now.
Okay, I want to go back to uh the working, cause I've been working since the '70s. So believe me, I done worked through a whole lot of generations, a whole bunch of tens, and I'm gonna tell you, it seemed like every 10 years. Back then, probably about every 5 years though. But every 10 years, things would get more expensive. You have your increments depending on who was the president at the time. So now, the '70s, I learned about working, had a job as a team. The '80s, got up there a little bit more, had a job, paid Social Security, all that, paid taxes and all that stuff, had all that stuff taken out of your check. The '90s, 2000. I mean, so each 10 years, things just kept jumping up and down. Prices, like you say, apartments were maybe $200 a month. Back then, I'm at about 113, something like that a month. Things like that. But to where I'm at now, in 2026, from where I've been, it's been quite a journey. I'm gonna tell you, quite a journey, because I couldn't imagine the things that's costing so much money right now. You can imagine being paid for what we was paying for back then, gas, maybe $1.25 a gallon. Sometimes,
$1.25 a gallon.
yeah,
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 yeah.
it was like that. I remember
it
when
was
they
like,
used to milk was like 85 cents or a
yep,
dollar.
I do too. I do too.
And that was way before I got my teens. Cause I know my granddad and them used to pay about 75, about that much, 65, something like that. That was in the '60s. But I'm talking about when I got older enough to start working. Lord, I'm not. I don't want to talk about way back then. I was working then. But anyhow, uh, it's
Yeah.
just mad. It's mad crazy how expensive stuff is. And I'm growing up. I never, like I said, we didn't have. I didn't pay much attention to, you know, things going up, paying for. We pay for it. That's just the way it was. But the way things are now, and the way that people are capitalizing off of others, that just that just doesn't sit well with me. And I'm always gonna speak out on that.
It's because they
'Cause,
bullies, Paul.
yeah, I'm always gonna speak out on that. But yeah, that's a great question though. What you asked though about the cost of living, because I'm telling you, it's hard as hell, especially when they want to try to cut everything. They cut all the programs that could keep young black kids involved and stuff. They cut all them programs out. So you have these kids out here doing nothing, everything. Out here doing nothing, hanging out. And the
Yeah,
cost of living kept going up. They cut the programs out and the cost of living kept going up. And you already done kept the fathers from being up in the homes with the moms and the kids. So now you got these single moms up in these apartments, houses, however they're living, working jobs, 1, 2, 3 jobs, how they getting by, and the cost of living keep going up, and you don't have nothing for them kids to do. So you systematically destroyed the home of the black family while the cost of living kept being risen. That might be a word, risen. And you just want to place it on, just want to place it on the mothers to raise kids alone. I'm high as
yeah, but he's right though. He's right. Oh, you nailed it. Especially the systematic destruction of the black family, right? You know, you take the father out of home and and you pay the mother. You incentivize the mother. That's the word I'm looking for. You incentivize the mother. The government said, "I'll be your daddy now. I'll pay you to keep that Negro out of the house because if the Negro is in there, then we can't break up the family." So now that everything is going out of control, I want to see how people are going to handle it. Are they going to just sit back and let the dirt, keep getting dirt kicked in their faces, or they're going to act? More than likely, they're going to let the dirt keep getting dirt kicked in their faces because they're
You know,
too scared. They're too scared to act. You want to know why they're too scared? Because if you keep them distracted, keep them hungry, keep them ignorant, they aren't going to and keep them tired. They ain't going to have time to react.
people don't want to see it. Because people don't believe nothing stinks. Just like the last shutdown, not this one. Because if you notice, it ain't much about this shutdown being spoken on. I'm keeping up with that joint though. But just like the last shutdown, when they were risking all of this stuff and people wasn't getting paid, people were losing their jobs, people were losing benefits and everything else. Nobody really spoke because they better. That's what she was saying, stuff like that. And I'm like, they don't have to do anything. They doing exactly what they want to do, not give you or taking away what they want to take away from. Because people been so complacent on, oh, they want to give it to me, and because so many things happen, and then they turn back around and then they get it again. Or some people learn how to work the system. I do agree with you. One is ignorance. One, people don't even keep up with what's going on or don't know what's going on until it physically affects them. And I agree. That's when it's not too late. But even still, when that happened, people were complaining, but nobody was really speaking up where they needed to speak up or do what they needed to do. It was more so you wanted to come against the people that were trying to help you or, cuss out the wrong people, but you wasn't trying to help yourself either. And I think that's also a part of the problem. I think Jude and I had this conversation before. People get so reliable on certain services that they become ignorant. No, they gonna give us out stuff. They gonna do this. People don't believe shit stink until it. People don't believe stuff stinks until it's like smushed them all in the face. But then still at that point, who are they going to complain to, or what are they going to be in an uproar about when you don't even know who you need to talk to because you're not involved in that, or you feel like things that goes on within our community and our society is something boring or it's not relevant to you.
I would say this, and I know there's the majority may not agree with me on this, but there's a group of people that's going most definitely 100% understand me. There is a class of people that you are talking about,
Mm-hmm.
a specific class of people, because there are some people who get on. Don't get me wrong. I was talking about some of them class people too, but there are some those ones who fighting for and feel entitled to those benefits. People who enable their self so that they can get. I've seen people do the darnest thing themselves just to be able to get
Yeah.
what, like $600 a month, if that.
Mm-hmm.
Some 12, some, I mean, and if you've never worked a day in your life, you ain't getting much. You get more when you have worked and you out on a disability. If you need, like you are physically enabled to go out and make a living for yourself, not, you can't. And I mean, in any kind of way, mentally, physically, you feel me, excuse me, cannot take care of yourself, or you feel me. That's what that's the benefits are there for. But you
Mm-hmm.
literally have people who don't want to work,
Yep.
didn't graduate high school,
Mm-hmm.
did graduate high school, you feel me, married, don't want to put their marriage down so that they can collect state benefits, just want food stamps. And I understand times are hard, but these are people who can work. And
I
I'm
agree.
saying that as a person not hating, but I ain't never been able to depend on them benefits, nor have I ever wanted to try to get them. And when I needed to, because I did lose my job and I was, out here, it was crazy that people could get help who could be working but choose
Mm-hmm.
not to. Well, tell me they're not working. I'm not getting a job. I'm not going to work. I'm waiting on my check. I never
Yep.
understood how a person could sit around and wait. Don't get me wrong. I wait on a paycheck every time I get paid. But to wait on one check a month, a stipend, and people
Mm-hmm.
was proud of that.
Yep.
I mean, especially in the 90s. But I've seen over time, people saw their parents live on that system. Parents couldn't even, I think Paul brought up like the break up the household. I
Mm-hmm.
don't mean no harm. A lot of women ain't going like this, but a lot of y'all got stagnant with the man not being in the house so that y'all can get y'all benefits. A lot of
Yep.
the men just got hip to getting the benefits and taking advantage of it.
Yep.
And they get the men benefits faster than they get the women because the women been taking advantage of it forever. But everybody done got so complacent. I see a lot of they set up these programs. I've seen people go through them. I've seen people that get in them just to get the cash or the stamps and then don't do nothing else after that until they got to renew it. They need to change that stuff. And all
They do.
y'all that's mad about them changing it, besides the elderly, the disabled, and the children, you part of the problem and you the reason why they need to change it.
Yeah.
Go out here and do something with yourself. They make everybody CNAs. They need CNAs. They had all them CNA. They got the CNA here, CNA GNA program. They got the HVAC program. They got the CDL program, the electrician, the pharmacy tech, the MA program. I don't see how none of y'all don't have a job. How any of y'all sitting around waiting on that, and you got people, and believe it or not, this is where a lot of y'all people that are 50 and above not going like. It ain't really the young ones. They try and get y'all off of there. Cause y'all
Yeah.
been on there since the 80s and the 90s. They sick of y'all getting over. Y'all been getting a check for a kid that's in their 40s.
Mm-hmm. I've witnessed it.
Y'all the reason.
And be mad, and that's why they keep them in the home, and that's why you have so many older people still living at home because they still a dependent, and they still getting that dependent thing. And then on top of that, to go back to both of y'all point and Q point, when people were losing their benefits, when I say the ignorant part of, they were just sitting in the house. They were just sitting in the house complaining, but they didn't know where to go, who to talk to, because they were so used to just getting that same thing every month. Is what I'm saying about the ignorance. And when people don't keep up with what's going on, I'm like, it's been all over. Like, you knew your benefits was going to get cut. You knew they make changes. Well, they know I need my money. Well, you go down there and tell where I gotta go, who I gotta talk to. So when it comes to, when, like how Paul and them say, people don't speak up, and until shit get nasty, they don't know where to go because people ignore things that's really concerning about policies and procedures. If you know this is what you're depending on, you should keep up with what's going on with it. But they
Yeah, but
don't. And until
yeah,
until it happens, but that's the big. But I agree with everything you say. You do have people that abuse it. But what I dislike is, throughout my career, I've met people who may just need a little bit of help because they may be in between jobs. They get denied. But that person who been using and manipulating, or the person that's just going out here to buy, I know I'm gonna go get a check. I'm gonna just say I got da 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 da, and then you want to go to the ED or you want to go somewhere else just so you can get some paperwork up. They get it, but the person that's trying to work or may not be making enough, or they might, their hours got cut at work and they got to feed their kids, and you might just need help for like a month or two, and that may be all you need. They tell you no.
yeah.
What's Magic
But this
City?
is
Is that a
The
strip
Magic
strip
club?
City
club.
strip club here
Strip
in
club.
Atlanta.
I just knew that was a strip. I was like, the strip club hybrid.
Yeah, they always hiring. Um, this is
Snap.
where
I'm sorry.
to
Yeah, he said Snap still not letting people apply. It's not that they're not letting people apply. They are so backtracked and under
and
scrutiny. They are cutting funds to that just
yep.
because people are not applying, because they're changing the system. Whereas though, just because you apply don't mean you're gonna get them. They're gonna make you program. They're gonna make you do a program, and you're gonna program for $38 or $24 a month. So you
Mm-hmm.
off going to work. I saw it for myself, and people was complaining because people were used to getting 800, 1,000, to even 100. And that $100 got cut, then less than half. And they like, oh wow, that's why you gonna go to this work program. They want people to get off of it. They don't even want you to have it.
It's
I'm
this is
sorry.
where, going back to what you were saying, Coco, about people's ignorance. Um, this is where they get mad now. It's affecting them, right? This is where being resourceful should take place, but it doesn't, because they become so complacent with being handed the check. It has made them lazy, right? One thing people say, like perfect example, people always come to me for advice. How did you get such and such? How do you know about certain grants? Because I research. I use the resources that I have to try to see what happens, what can happen if I apply myself, right? Most of these people, they're so damn lazy. They want everything handed to them. I'm like, I don't want anything handed to me. I want to work for what I'm trying to get for. What I'm trying to get. Yeah, I could have applied for SNAP. I did it. I did the first time I got unemployed, 8 months out, and I exhausted everything I had. My 401k, you know what I'm saying, to keep everything afloat. But I went on ahead and applied for SNAP, food stamps or whatever, the card or whatever. I was getting like $292 a month, and I wasn't even using half of that. You know what I'm saying? I would use half and then let the balance carry over to the next month. That way I build up money, right? But the problem is people don't want to use the resources that you're given. Like, for instance, they have the greatest invention in their home called a computer. You don't have to go to the library. You don't have to check out books. You don't have to look into the encyclopedia. I don't even know if the encyclopedias are still relevant anymore. Yet people will still be asking, and you tell them to Google something, how I do that. Hi Google. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, you don't know how you mean to tell me does it interfere with my card game, my solitaire game? Okay, does your solitaire game pay? No. Well, what are you doing it for then? For my, I just need a stress reliever. Okay. You know what my stress reliever is? PlayStation. Or playing on my phone. Playing Tower Match 3 on my phone. And they pay. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear any more excuses about, well, why they cut my funding? Why they cut this? Okay, you got the computer in your house. Laptop, desktop, doesn't matter what operating system, Linux, Apple, or Windows. They literally do the same thing. You have a search engine. Okay? Use it. Utilize the resources that you're given. You don't have to go to the library anymore. Hell, I say in the next 20 years, libraries won't even exist because everything's on the internet. But people are lazy. They want things handed to them.
No, people like books.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is you don't have to check out books any longer. You can order books from Amazon or eBay. Or if you're savvy enough, you could go to Ocean PDF, like I do, and download the book for free. But people ain't gonna do that.
Whole community of book readers that saving libraries. I guess that's from up here because we rebuilding libraries. They want to bring that back, even though we're a techie place. It's something about the book, like it's like with art. As much as everybody doing that digital stuff, man, all that stuff can be erased, but it's something about the texture of the canvas and the whole getting paint on you and all that stuff, man. It's the books. Listen, the Bible digitized. They still ain't getting rid of it though. They still ain't getting rid of that hard copy or the paper copy. That's what I just wanted to say that. Like, no, I don't think they ever gonna really get rid of the libraries though. They rebuilding them.
Library next door to me.
Go ahead, Q. I'm saying back on mute.
Nah, you're right. You're right. But the way it's going, it seems to be it seems it's going that way. Because, I pass by libraries when I'm doing all my driving. There ain't that many people in there. You know what I'm saying? Each day. There ain't that many people in there. It looks like ghost town in there. Just the library and the books. The librarian and the books. And there may be a couple of people who don't have access to digital resources that are in there, trying to send out their resumes and all of that, which is all good. But if you have the resources at hand, be wise and utilize the resources at hand. Just don't, people ask you, well, have you been applying? I was like, I've been applying everywhere. The reason why I get rejected is because I'm not going to take $20 an hour when I know I'm worth more than that and I've made more than that. I'm not going to take $20 an hour. Period. That's just me. 2, I started noticing in IT, especially, IT has the ageism issue, age discrimination, right? Because they could tell how old you are on your resume by either your work history or if you have your college degree on there. Because I graduated in 1994. Then they can gauge from there how old you are, and if they feel like, oh, okay,
dang, in 94.
Yeah, I was 24 when I graduated. They see that, oh, he's too old, he's too set in his ways.
You that old?
I'm 56.
Get the out of here.
Yeah, I'm 56.
Yo, okay.
Born in February 12th, 1970, baby. Bronx, Lebanon Hospital.
Wow.
Damn, 30 more days and you could have been a Pisces. God damn. You would have been
Nah,
lucky.
I'm an Aquarius, baby. I'm an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius. Not and I love because Aquarius are the
I did not know you up there with Bosco. You that?
yeah
I mean, not
yeah.
that
I'm
I'm
5 years younger than Bosco.
get the out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
You learn something new every day. No
A lot of
wonder
people
and you from New York. No wonder y'all act. That's why y'all act like that.
act like what?
Like that.
Yeah,
He said, yeah.
because we been through it. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing new. What Trump is doing? We went through it when Reagan was president, and I told people. And Paul went through it too. I know Paul went through it when Reagan was president.
Reagan.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they talk about, well, we're not in a recession. You know, the media's lying to everybody, talking about we're not in a recession. Oh, yes, the hell we are. They don't want to invoke public panic because they're so concerned with the S&P 500. They're so concerned with the stock market, right? They think the stock market is the indicator to everything. They brainwash people to believe that the stock market is the indicator to everything economic. And it's not. It's not. Period.
Where's the oil and where is the funding from the budget cuts? Where's the oil? I'm sorry, I was trying to put my shoe on. Whew. You know, level 1 obesity problems.
Hold on. How you out of breath putting on a shoe?
First of all, because I am level 1, y'all know my story. Y'all know my story. Level 1. Y'all ain't see me over here trying to get this one on. It was the shoe folded.
No, all we heard was breathing.
Right. It was heavy breathing too. It was heavy breathing.
I thought it was on me. Because I was over here, I was over here struggling. I had to unbutton the pants to get it, bend over. I was like, hold on.
Lord have mercy.
There was too much going on. Yeah, but anyway, what was we talking about? Yeah, where's the oil? And where's the funding? I want to ask Alyssa because, you know, Coco made a good point. With all these changes, all y'all made, we ain't getting paid no more money than we've been getting paid. Pensies. So I've noticed that in some of them other countries that are thriving, not the ones where their leaders are being stingy and selfish and dictatorial. Is that a word? Whatever. But anyway,
Dictatorial.
yeah, what I say, dictatorial. That would sound better. Dictatorial sound better. But I feel like, you know, like the countries they thrive better, peoples thrive better. Everybody got, you know, their way of dealing with the poor or their way of dealing with, you know, the lower class and the middle class. But what's going on in this country, it doesn't feel like anything that the country's supposed to stand for. It feel like we all are in a form of a prison. And they put all this stuff in the movies. With the IT thing, I don't I think that they know for sure because they're going to plan it, how they're going to show everybody how we should be afraid of AI. Because there is some things that goes on with that, man. The robots already fighting back already. They practicing. If y'all think that, I mean, just think about it. All the movies, even in the movie Johnny Number 5, right? That's the first movie I say about robots. Johnny Number 5. Even when the eyes turn red, every robot when the eyes turn red, it is game over. Why they want robots to take over? They keep putting it in the movies for mass destruction and take over and to erase humans. They even got the movies where they showing where they can implant the little chips in us and have the robots go around and beat us while we just land in the house. And what was that, the movie Wally? So they had the cartoon first and they got the movie or something, surrogates and all that stuff. They are showing us what the plan is.
But see, Elon Musk has already created a Neuralink chip. right? And he's tested it on various people who were like they've been defective. They like say for they were paralyzed. He implants that chip in their brain that now they can manipulate um items on a computer just using their
Elon
eyes. Yeah,
Elon Musk
Elon's
might got the credit, but what the Asians were already doing these kind of things. They was keeping the secrets, like Wakanda wasn't telling everybody about the vibrating, whatever it was. They've been doing stuff like they was doing the robots and stuff back in like the early 2000s, late 90s. And we was just finding out about it like a few years ago. And the stuff you talking about that they giving Elon Musk credit for, they was already on that. Man. The one thing that ruined the lives of America was the growth and the evolution of social media. They've been lying to us our whole life, having us thinking that these other countries weren't. And yeah, some of them are not where we are, but there are a lot of them that may have past where we are. You don't know what half of them, what some of them people doing. And the sad part is, we taught them. They came over here and into the United States schools. They learned the things and they went back home. They did the one thing that the United States suffered about. They take what they learned from us and they go home and teach it to their people, which is what we should be doing. But instead, we over here beefing with each other over who's black and who's white and who's Hispanic and who's American and who's not, who this land belongs to. But for decades, foreigners have been coming over, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because I respect what they did. They took everything that they were supposed to. They came over here, they took advantage of the things that we take for granted, and they went home and they watched their people elevate off of it. We are stuck in a hateful society because of the ancestors of the past. And we live it in the proof of in 2026 because somebody is in office with that mindset from back there while the rest of the world was moving on. I'm gonna just say this, I'm gonna be quiet. They told us that the whole Africa was in huts. Africa came through and showed us we ain't in huts, we a whole move.
Yeah, but you also got to realize that president has never bought his own groceries, right? He's had privilege, all right? He's never driven a car because he's had chauffeurs, he's had butlers, he's had maids to do his cleaning, his wiping, his shopping, right? So he can't relate to normal human beings. That's why he acts the way he does. Rich people, people who are quote unquote uber rich, they don't wake up like normal human beings do, right? They get their maid wakes them up. They get sent to a what's that camp they call it? Um they get sent to like
Camp
military.
Crystal Lake.
They get sent, they get sent to these fancy camps, right? Because that's just how they were raised, right? Because they grew up with the mindset, oh, I'm better than these commoners, right? Yeah, that's why Trump is who he is.
And on that note, we got to close out. So, I know because there was so much going on, we didn't do the Q&A today, so we'll do that on Monday. So we will see you guys. Thank you for everyone who commented and who was interacting with us. Shout out to my bro, Richie Hicks Jr. Check out the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Also, J Bay was in the building. We had Jada Daniel peeped in for a little bit. And we had my boo Dion was in the building as well. Daytrick, always a pleasure. There was anyone I didn't mention, I'm sorry, I apologize. Thank you to my great panel of people, my co-hostesses. And we will see you guys Monday at 8 o'clock. Good night.
Peace. Don't want to block myself out.
Are we still up here?